All right, that one's going to have a lot of feedback. Let's turn that off. We are here in the future, Jim, in the future.
Yeah.
For future wrestling talk.
Sounded like Granny's magic musical saw.
Oh, that was kind of what I was going for. Thank you.
Well, you've got a musical saw setting on the Organtron there. The Orgasmatron.
The album, The Musical Saw, will be out on Arcadian Vanguard Records later this year. Stay tuned for more information. We may do a bundle with the new Jim Cornette book. We haven't decided yet. But Jim, here we are in the future.
What's the cover picture going to look like of Granny's musical saw? Is she going to be bowing it on the porch?
Well, no, we're not using Granny in the title. We're kind of getting away from the whole Granny thing. We're just focusing on musical saw.
Well, it's Granny's musical saw, though.
No, that's not. Again, that may be your idea.
You're saying Granny isn't marketable?
I'm saying in this context, I don't think Granny is marketable for the avant-garde drone music that we will be producing.
I don't know. Those fucking nonagenarians, they got some piss and vinegar in them. All right. Yeah. You know what we need to do before we go on to the climactic portion of the program with blowing our nose with dynamite is check in basically on what they're doing at the big event. They're just down the road in Australia coming up this coming weekend. The WWE, when do they grace the United States' presence with a big event again?
When one of the local municipalities will pay them as much money as they want.
So don't fill the potholes, pay the WWE to come do a show. But anyway, they're going to be in Australia, Brian, and are they trying to soften the negative stigma behind the Crown Jewel show title by putting it somewhere else besides Saudi Arabia, since now they get WrestleMania?
Yeah, it's interesting because it was an event that we thought was created specifically for Saudi Arabia. Last year, Cody defeated Gunther for the Crown Jewel Championship, a championship he wasn't allowed to leave the country with. So we figured it was kind of the Saudi event. Now it's in Perth, Australia. I mean, the big test will be next year. Will it be in Columbus, Ohio? I don't know if Crown Jewel works there, but it's now just part of the traveling package that is, give us your money, WWE.
They want your jewels. They want your family jewels to see the Crown Jewel. What does the King of Australia have to? Do they have crown jewels in Australia, the King and Queen, or do they?
Well, I don't think they have a king.
Do they have more like sheep horn on their? No, there is crowns. There is no. Or is that New Zealand?
There is no king.
They got a lot of sheep down there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a king or queen in Australia or New Zealand.
What about sheep?
Unless you count Paul Hogan. I don't know. They have plenty of sheep, from what I understand.
Well, I'm trying to figure, is it which one? Is it Australia, New Zealand, or both that has all the sheep? Because the sheep herders.
We're from New Zealand.
New Zealand sheep herders. Maybe Australia doesn't have as many sheep as we think. That's why some of the men are highly frustrated.
In the heyday of Australian wrestling, were the New Zealanders considered like outsiders or automatic heels, or were they accepted immediately as one of our own because they're our neighbor right over here?
Well, Brian, I don't know that question has ever come up to me before, and I wasn't there during the heyday of Australian wrestling, so I can't comment on the race relations amongst the different factions of down there in warring fucking Australia.
You know, just recently the photo was going around on Facebook. I don't know if you would have seen it on Twitter. You may have seen it before, of Luke Williams in his early days with his beautiful gimmick, having his hair.
Yes.
Looks like another person.
But anyway, Luke and Butch, I loved them. So are Luke and Butch on this show? It might be more entertaining coming up, but I'm afraid they're not.
I'm afraid Butch passed away several years ago.
Well, I realize that's one of the reasons why they're not on the show.
But Rip Morgan said he's available and ready to go.
God damn it, I almost spit on
the nephew of Butch Miller, Rip Morgan. But Jim, you brought it up, Crown Jewel Perth, Saturday, October 11th, 7:30 p.m. local, 8 a.m. on the East Coast, 5 a.m. on the West Coast. What do you think of that before any? Again, I know that you don't want to just, like SummerSlam 92 in Wembley didn't air live here. We didn't know the results. It was a different era. There wasn't a vibrant internet. So it aired several hours after it took place. It was light there when it was pitch black here. What do you think, though, about the idea of airing stuff live and it's the middle of the night, middle of the morning? It's like a New Japan kind of thing.
Well, I guess everybody can get the results instantly, but at the same time, you can do like the Seinfeld episode where he answers the phone, I'm taping the game, don't tell me what the result is, or whatever, and try to stay away from it and watch it at a convenient time of the day, because there is no bell time is 8 p.m. anymore. With the streaming, you can watch whenever the fuck you want and at DVR, et cetera, et cetera. That's why the whole concept of a big show's gone to hell. Back in my day, they had faces. But it just the idea of, if it's not an immediate thing where you have to watch it and it's on at 8 o'clock and on Saturday morning, and you got, put kids in their treehouse or whatever the fucking normal people do on goddamn Saturday. I don't know. Do you put children in the treehouse or do they go there on their own?
I think they climb up to the treehouse on their own.
Well, you got to kick them out of the house first. Chase them with a stick. It helps. But
that wouldn't be the thing to do.
But
no.
Point being, it's easier to just get busy with Saturday and not watch the thing, isn't it? Even if you were planning on it, unless you're, again, they're preaching to the base. The whole wrestling industry is preaching to the base now because they don't get the masses anymore. Some of their fans are massive, but they don't get the masses.
You see, if you go out the night before, or just you're waiting until the end of the week because you've been getting very little sleep during the week for work or school, whatever it is, if you're waiting until Friday night to get a great night's sleep, are you going to want to wake up early to see it? I mean, I almost feel like this would be a better plan for Tony Khan because he does 10-hour shows. That way he could start at 8 a.m. on the East Coast, and by the time like 1 o'clock you want to check out what's going on, there's still plenty to go.
And he'll be done by dark.
That's right. That's right.
But,
it's like a telethon.
You know what? Would it be better if he just said at the start of the show, we're going to have matches until you pay us a certain amount to stop, and then raise more money through crowdfunding with people sending in contributions. Please end it. Please end it.
You should do it. The Thanks Guys telethon.
But nevertheless, they're having this show, and we are going to try now to tell the people what's on the show and how excited we are about the show that these matches are taking place on, allegedly.
Yeah, we're going to try to. This show is coming up less than a week as we release this show here. If I go to the official WWE website, there's a page. I mean, the event is Crown Jewel Perth. They don't actually list any matches. They give you, first thing on the page is win a trip to the Survivor Series War Games. Enter now. It's a Minute Maid contest with Cody Rhodes there. And then right under that, it says on sale now, 2-day combo tickets for WrestleMania 42. Click here for tickets. And then under that is Crown Jewel Perth, a big image of several superstars. Has the date, buy tickets, and also a click to, or a link to buy priority pass. And then it says featured superstars, and it shows Cena, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, Rollins, and Stephanie Vaquer. And then it's highlights of SmackDown and Raw leading up to it. No matches listed. That's crazy.
On their own website.
Yeah, I mean, this is their website, and this is the official page for the event. There's no matches. What happens if I click for tickets here? All right, we'll come back to this. Let me go to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia will have the lowdown if they won't tell us.
All right, Wikipedia has 4 matches listed. I mean, the last pay-per-view we saw was, 5 matches, right?
Yeah, but, maybe they think they're giving people too much. Because it is 8 o'clock in the morning.
And maybe we could think of things they may add. Let's go through what's officially a match as of now, according to Wikipedia. In a tag team match, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors.
If the television segment, as we will phrase it, that we talked about previously is any indication of what, these other 3 that are the kids that are in with Rhea are going to be contributing to this thing, I'd love to see her in and out of this thing as quickly as possible. Because that was just stinky bad.
I guarantee you this match will be many times better than that awful segment with awful acting on Raw.
Well,
that went 20 minutes. It probably won't go as long as that segment either, if I had to guess.
Why do we care about the match after it reminds us of the stinkiest promo to build a match that's ever been done?
Well, let's see what you think of the rest of this card as of this very moment. In a singles match, John Cena versus AJ Styles.
And I think I agree with this one because obviously Cena wants to do it first of all. AJ was one of the people on his list that he'd like to work with, whatever, but also it's a way for them to relive their history. John's probably not going to get hurt working with AJ. And at the same time, this is it's a big show in name only, right? Again, because they're in Australia and etc. But this isn't like they're giving away a WrestleMania main event. And, do they even have the term B show anymore? Are they all B shows? But you know what I'm saying.
Feels like there's more televised B shows now than ever before.
Well, that's because they're busy bees. They've got more shows than, all these towns that they're willing to hold hostage for ransom to, come and grace with their beneficence. They're just lined up.
Now, I thought they were potentially building up Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre for this card, but it's not listed amongst the matches here, and it certainly isn't on the WWE website. So we'll see what happens.
It would be a bonus if they had it. Well, that would be nice.
Otherwise, you have 4 matches and 3 hours of commercials. Doesn't sound very pleasant. For the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship, the Raw Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, versus Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Okay, well, I'm going to watch every single solitary second of this son of a bitch, just because I don't want you to think that I'm not giving Stephanie her proper due or respect or whatever, and this probably ain't going to be bad. And once again, it's for another miscellaneous women's championship, but they'll love it over there down under Captain Roger.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they put over there. It'll also be interesting, are they allowed to leave the country with the championship? Now that this event's not in Saudi Arabia, who owns... First of all, did they have to make a new Crown Jewel Championship belt? And secondly, who owns it?
Well, and that's a good point. And if they could probably get something out of Australia easier than they can get it out of Saudi Arabia. So now, it'll be on eBay next week.
Unless you cut it up with a bone saw and put it in little bags.
Ho!
Jim, final match listed here for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. The SmackDown undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, who was last year's winner of the Crown Jewel Championship against Gunther, versus the Raw World's Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins.
With only the Crown Jewel title on the line. Correct?
That is correct. Only the Crown Jewel Championship and maybe the championship of the most interference in wrestling. We'll see what happens if we had to guess.
This one, boy, you'd think Seth would have to win something sooner or later, but I don't know that I see it here. But they don't want to start a riot down in Australia either. Those people they carry knives. I don't know.
Boomerangs?
Huh?
Wouldn't you be more afraid of a boomerang than a knife?
Well, no, because once it comes back to him, it comes back to the guy that did it, so you could catch him easier. So they could just stick you with a knife and walk off and leave it in you. Think about that.
I hadn't thought about that. You may be right.
Yeah, there you go. See, you never hear on the news about a boomerang killer getting away with it. The shit always comes right back to him.
I've never even seen anyone successfully use a boomerang in person my entire life.
Well, you don't spend enough time down in Australia.
You've seen Australian wrestlers.
Costello.
Yeah, you saw Al Costello. You've seen Australian wrestlers. Have you ever seen anyone actually throw a boomerang and have it returned to them?
Well, not in a wrestling situation.
They were throwing boomerangs into the crowd. Nothing ever came back.
Well, those were gimmick boomerangs. They're not the magic fucking boomerangs, see? Some of them were just cardboard. And Al Costello, when he'd hit the guy over the head with his wooden boomerang, well, he didn't have enough room to throw it because he was right next to the guy. So he just hit him with it because it was easier. But now out in the outback, and then Al Costello would fling that thing and it'd come right back. From what I've heard and been told. He wouldn't tell a lie.
It's kind of upsetting. Not upsetting, that's not the right word, but it just seems almost like a waste or a disappointment. There have been elements in the Cody Rollins build, and those elements don't include the length of the segments or the singing of the fans or any of the superfluous shit. But the whole argument, the breaking apart of these guys that were friends leading into Cody, or at least Seth Rollins was the shield to help Cody get the title from Roman Reigns a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Feels like more could have been done for this to be a bigger thing as opposed to all of this to build up this match, for a championship, not the one either of them hold, or a championship that'll be defended anywhere ever. I don't know. It just seems almost like a waste of the build for this. Like they could have used that. They could have used that for something bigger, long term. There's more to be done, I guess. It seems like.
I have a feeling they're going to do this match again. This isn't the last we've seen of it. They'll probably take another swing at it later.
You think they'll unify the belts again? You think they'll ever unify the belts again?
I don't know, because there is the reason why they did it before is so that they could tour more efficiently with having two touring groups, but they don't tour anymore as much as just go, as we said, to the highest bidder and the big shows and TV. It probably would be a benefit, but I don't think they will, just because I think they're like Tony. They like all the belts. They think their fans like all these belts, and then they can use the belts to fight the other belts. Then we don't need the wrestlers anymore. Yeah.
Well, Jim, that's it. Those are the only matches listed on Wikipedia, not even on the official WWE page for the upcoming Crown Jewel pay-per-view event this Saturday, 8 a.m. East Coast.
Well, at least if there's only 4 matches, we'll be able to get over to Wild Eggs for brunch before they close.